Um, Mr. Greenwood, you've been on both sides of the fence, both serving in Congress and now with the Biotechnology uh, Association. Could you talk a little bit about what are the keys to fixing the FDA to streamline the innovation process in your view?
I think a couple of things. Fundamentally, we would like to see the mission of the FDA change so that it's clear that its job is not only to protect the public against products that are either not safe or that are ineffective, and we never want that to change. We always want to be protected against those things. Right. But we also think that their mission should be to actually have a role in accelerating innovation. And the way I describe that is if over the course of the next year, several applications for a new Alzheimer's drug, for instance, came to the FDA. And let's say that the FDA decided that for whatever reasons they thought that the data didn't support that these therapies were safe and or effective, and they didn't approve them. The job shouldn't be over for the FDA at that point, because in fact the country needs a treatment for Alzheimer's. Right. And the FDA is a critical stakeholder, has a critical role in determining whether that happens or it doesn't happen. So I think if the FDA had as part of its mission to accelerate innovation, it would respond to those failed applications not just by moving on to the next challenge, but rather to say to the industry, why is this happening? Let's talk through collectively what are the scientific challenges, what are the regulatory challenges, are we doing everything we need to do here, are you doing everything you need to do there, and are the standards that we're applying the correct ones? Are these what the patients would want, for instance? So I think if you give the FDA resources to do that, if you give them the mandate to do that, and if people's jobs, some of them are being reviewed annually, and their bonuses and their salaries are determined by the extent to which they are trying to foster innovation at the FDA, I think you get a better result.
Okay. Could you talk a little bit about the progressive approval? Describe what that means exactly?
Right. So we think that for currently unmet medical needs, for therapies that are highly innovative, perhaps for orphan diseases, for patients who are not responding to what exists there now, right. And have serious medical needs, if a product comes along that has been largely essentially determined to be safe, and now the long duration question is, let's determine its effectiveness. Some of those patients may want to have access to that drug sooner rather than later. Their lives may depend upon it. And so we think that the FDA should be empowered to and should develop a regulatory process by which it can, rather than saying nobody gets the drug until everybody gets it, right. Be able to say for some subsets of the patient population, we'll let you have the drug now, we'll continue to collect data, trials will go on, but we may enlarge that subset of patients gradually over time until we get to the point where all the clinical data is complete, all of the approval process is finished, and then all patients can get that access to the drug.
How would that process work within the current framework?
Well, I think we don't know exactly how it would work because no one has really set about the task to answer that question. There's been much written about the need for progressive approvals. There are patient groups that have been clamoring for it. But I think what we really need is a concerted effort by the experts at the FDA and the experts in industry and the other stakeholders to spend a lot of time actually working out how would reimbursement occur. How would you continue to be able to recruit patients into clinical trials? What are the ethics of giving placebos to patients after you've already approved the drug for some patients? Right. A lot of complicated questions there, but none that I think defy answers if we set ourselves to the task.
Okay, great.